So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. And I'm sure you're all aware, the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus have been unveiled yesterday with the new AR emojis, with the new camera setup, with the new aperture system, the variable aperture, the new lilac purple. We all know the drill. You know, this is pretty much still trending, and it's going to be talked about for the next couple of months here. And I will be covering in depth the S9 and S9 Plus against multiple phones when they do arrive. I reserved both of them, and just like you, I have to wait to get them, so just stay tuned for that. But as of right now, I want to talk about some of these older phones, you know, many of the phones that I reviewed that a lot of you might have and are potentially thinking about upgrading from. But before we do that, I want to talk about one of the key upgrades, and that comes to the camera. So I have this old Canon lens right here, and as you can see, if you take a look, I can actually adjust the aperture in that lens. So let me go ahead and do that really quickly for you here. So you see that right there, how that aperture ring is actually opening up the aperture. So you can see right there, boom. So right there, you can see this is what basically the S9 does at nighttime. So at night, usually it would just stay in a fixed aperture, which most smartphones do, actually all smartphones do, including the iPhone 10. The S9 is going to be able to go like this, boom, at night to let more light in. Now, don't let this marketing fool you. This doesn't mean that you're going to have a better photo than a full-blown DSLR, like this one, for example, right here. And here's the reason why. So although you can open up the lens to get better light at nighttime, with a DSLR, your sensor is much larger. You see that sensor size, that huge square in there? Very big sensor. You know, I could even show this better on my mirrorless camera. So give me just a second here. Let me bring over the mirrorless. Same with the mirrorless. Look at the size of that sensor in there. It's just massive in comparison to these very small sensors that you get on phones. So it will be better in low light, but it's still gonna look like a smartphone picture. Okay, so here's the phones: iPhone 6s, Galaxy Note 5, iPhone 7 Plus, Galaxy S7, S7 Edge, S8 Plus, Note 8, iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, Pixel 2, iPhone 10, OnePlus 5, and OnePlus 5T. So beginning with the iPhone 6s Plus and the 6s series in general, I think this is a phone you should upgrade to the Galaxy S9. So for the 6S and 6S Plus, I would say, yes, I will compare them when they do come. But the reason being is that, you know, this design on the 6S Plus is, you know, rather old looking. Yes, the iPhone 8 Plus brings it, but we'll talk about those in a little bit. The design language, even on the S7 Edge, was ahead of the 6S Plus in my opinion. So coming from this phone that, you know, has lately been having battery issues and all that stuff, I think it'd be a nice upgrade to try out the Galaxy S9 from a 6S Plus, and you could probably get about $350 or so for this with the Samsung trade-in. So as of right now, these might change when I do the review. Yes, I would upgrade from the iPhone 6s series. Now, what about the Note 5? So a lot of people might still have a Note 5, you know, skipped out on the Note 8, maybe not. You know, but if you do have a Note 5, yes, I think this is a good upgrade to go to the S9, because the Note 5 definitely has been a great smartphone, but the S9 will improve on the ergonomics of the Note 5. Plus, the battery life was pretty horrendous for me for the Note 5. And the camera lens, you know, should get a lot better when it comes to photography and stuff like that. So overall, it'll be a nice ergonomic improvement, way better speed than the Note 5, and it will be better camera overall and more storage likely over your Note 5. So definitely, I think an upgrade from the Note 5 is warranted. We'll compare those as well on the channel. What about the iPhone 7 series? So got the iPhone 7 Plus right here, for example. Now, this one's a little trickier because the 7 Plus is a very fast phone. It has a great, you know, it kind of pioneered this dual camera setup. It was one of the first to bring this to the mainstream here on the iPhone 7 Plus. And this is a tricky one, but I would say probably it's potential. It's a potential one here on the 7 Plus. You know, if you're happy with the phone, probably not a great upgrade. But if you really want a more ergonomic feel, again, similar with the 6S Plus, you might want to get away from the 7 Plus. It'll be good if you want a more compact feeling phone in your hand, but you didn't want the notch from the iPhone 10. It might be a good upgrade in that case. Galaxy S7. After my usage with the S7 itself, I've had overheating issues. This is basically the Snapdragon 820 that I was talking about. The 835 got much better with efficiency on the S8 when it comes to overheating and stuff like that. So For the S7, being that's a flat screen, starting to look a little bit old, but still a little bit classic in design, I would say yes, it's a good upgrade to go from the S7 to the S9 due to an improved camera. It's like this phone improved by 100. So yes, definitely an easy recommend for the S7 to the S9. Now, I don't feel the same about the S7 Edge as I do the S7. Reason being is the S7 Edge was a much better design than the smaller S7, if you ask me, when it comes to the curved display and all that. Plus, you can get Android Oreo on here. You could flash the S9 ROM right here on your phone, as I did. So I got 8.0 running here on S7 Edge, and it still has a beautiful design if you got it in coral blue, gold, or silver. Just a really good looking phone. And I think you might want to wait till later this year to see what Samsung does with the Galaxy X. And also, I think because you're going to have Android Oreo on here, you could get that on the S7, but it doesn't have the beautiful design. That's why I recommended it an upgrade. But the S7, you should be able to get by for at least one more year with this device and wait on the S9 when they might radically change design. I don't think, or the S10, excuse me. I don't think they're going to do that, 2 years in a row at iterative design as they did with the Samsung Galaxy S8 to the S9. So Galaxy S8 Plus, no, I don't think you should upgrade from a Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus to a Galaxy S9. Reason being is design is almost identical. I'm sure you've gotten used to the fingerprint scanner where it is by now. And the camera, while it's going to have a different aperture, it should be pretty similar in its photography skills when it comes to sharpness and clarity and stuff like that. Also, the Android Oreo update should be coming soon to the S8. So no, I think if you have an S8, you might want to wait on the Note 9, or you might not even want to wait on the Galaxy X later this year, or even next year with the S10 on the S8. So S8 users, I would hold off right now. Galaxy Note 8 users. So if you have a Note 8, this one I've been scratching my head. I can't wait to compare the Galaxy S9 Plus to the Note 8. Dual camera, just like that phone. S Pen, though, really changes the game. I think these are different product lines, and I think that, if you really love your S Pen, don't even think about going to the S9. You're going to miss it big time. So I personally, if I was, just using the Note and not a tech reviewer, I simply would just stay on my Note and wait to see what Samsung does with the Note later this year before I jump the gun and just go to the S9, because, Note users and S users are a little bit different. Note users really like to be productive and use that S Pen. And I find that S users, care a lot about design and stuff like that and really don't care about an S Pen. So definitely, I would probably hold off on the Note 8. On the iPhone 8, now you might be saying, well, I just got my iPhone 8. Why the heck would I go to a Galaxy S9? Well, you can sell your iPhone 8 or 8 Plus. This goes for both of them at a pretty good bargain right now. You could still get pretty top dollar for your iPhone 8 or 8 Plus if you sell it third party. So you can get almost all the money it's going to cost you to buy a Galaxy S9 if you do want to go to it. So that goes for the 8 Plus as well. Now, in terms of power, I think you will be downgrading in terms of power, because I don't think the 845 is going to beat the A11 when it comes to pure raw performance. But in terms of camera, you will be upgraded from camera, and you just had enough of these designs and you said, I bought an iPhone 8 or 8 Plus and I'm not really feeling the design, you might want to go ahead and upgrade to that. But I would sell these third party. Do not trade these into Samsung. They're offering you a laughable $350 for your new smartphone on the 8 and 8 Plus. Now, the Google Pixel 2 series is one I would definitely not upgrade to the Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus, especially the Pixel 2 XL. I got the Pixel 2 here. I'm going to be getting the Pixel 2 XL. But this phone right here, I think it's going to be hard for the Samsung Galaxy S9 to beat the camera on this phone. And that alone makes it hard for me to say you should upgrade. Now, if you got the Pixel 2 and you like the camera, but you just hate Google software and you really want more features, you don't like the stock feel, then yes. But overall, the Pixel 2 to me is still probably going to be a little bit slicker in terms of performance. It's going to get updates more than the S9, and it's going to have, I think, a better camera, or at least matching the same camera quality on the S9. Now, the iPhone 10 is a question a lot of people have. The Apple iPhone 10, and I will be covering both of these in depth. Camera, we're going to do some battery. We're also going to do some, full comparisons in detail on the channel. But as it stands right now, it's a potential yes or no here for the iPhone 10. I think it's really going to come down to, rather than notch has annoyed you on the iPhone 10, it really is going to come down to, you got the iPhone 10 and it didn't live up to your expectations. You don't like not having a headphone jack, and you just had enough of Apple and you just regret buying an iPhone 10. Then I think it might be worth it to sell your iPhone 10 to get a Galaxy S9. Now, you could sell an iPhone 10 and actually buy an S9 and still have money in your pocket. So you would actually get an S9 and gain some money. So that's pretty cool. If you wanted to get rid of the iPhone 10, you would actually have a gain there. Now, getting on to the OnePlus 5 and 5T, I know that a lot of users in this segment probably don't even think about going to this premium segment because this is a more of a try and target the mid-range budget market. But now when it comes to the OnePlus 5, I think it might be a good time to upgrade because the OnePlus 5, while it does have a Snapdragon 835, 6 gigs of RAM, it did have that jelly effect. The cameras were not that great on this phone. And yes, it does get updates, but it's got a shaky no OIS camera. You'll have a huge upgrade in camera. Design kind of looks like the OnePlus 3T and 3 on the front, so it doesn't really look that fresh here with these thick bezels. The OnePlus 5. So yes, I would definitely upgrade from a OnePlus 5 to a Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus. Now a 5T, no, I would not upgrade from a 5T to an S9 or an S9 Plus unless you got the 5T and again you didn't like it. But for me, I wouldn't upgrade this to S9 Plus because this phone right here is offering an incredible bargain. It has the newer design language with the 18:9 display, and I definitely think you could hold off for at least a year here, or at least to see what the OnePlus 6 does for the 5T. But OnePlus 5, I would upgrade to the Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus. So there's some of the top phones that you could upgrade from. It's not all of them, but this is a lot of the most premium phones that I think a lot of people might be thinking about going to an S9 from. And if you found this video helpful, enjoyable, do me a favor, click that like button for me. Any questions on these phones, any feedback you want to get in before the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus arrives to the channel, be sure to drop it down below in the comments. I will get back to as many comments as possible. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well. I'm out, and peace.